on TNT. Saturday.
For Dream Team 2 as they square off against Australia, the 10th time these two clubs have met. But we started all this with 16 teams and 4 pools. Now we're down to 2 groups. We're going to take a look at them and show you who is vying for the gold medal. The championship game being played August 14th in the Sky Dome, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's look first at Group 1. The United States, of course, playing their first game here in the quarterfinal. Russia just earlier today defeated Puerto Rico. And, of course, Australia squaring off against the USA. The other group that's still alive, Croatia. The team that many people feel will get the silver. Greece, that's been a surprise. Canada and China. China, who earlier was able to defeat Brazil in overtime. And Chuck Daly, looking at what's happened thus far, what has been surprising to you?
Well, I think the first game USA played against Spain, I thought that game in particular kind of set a tone for the Europeans. It gave somebody hope because it was so close. But there were some others. Germany, a champion before, without Welp and Detlef Schlempf, that is a problem. And then also Greece upsetting Canada last night, I thought was a surprise.
The Chinese team getting a remarkable performance from their big center last night. 31 points, still losing. Germany struggled early, and Brazil, they don't have Oscar Schmidt anymore to play for them.
Yeah, Oscar Schmidt from Brazil, and of course Germany with Detlef Schlempf, and we talked about it. Well, they'll be there, I think, in the Olympics, and that does make a difference to their club because they're NBA type players.
As you look at Dream Team 2, I was talking to you today. When you were coaching in Barcelona, you had a proclaimed leader of the team. Who's evolving as a leader of this team?
There doesn't seem to be one right now. I haven't been able to detect it. I would suspect it's in the backcourt by committee. But Joe Dumars, perhaps, maybe Kevin Johnson, because he's kind of the elder statesman. But I haven't noticed, like, Dream Team 1, we had Magic Johnson. Of course, we had Larry, who was a co-captain, and Michael very quietly with his play. But Magic really led the club.
Shaquille O'Neal has been sensational. We'll be back with the introduction of the starting lineups. Dream Team 2 squaring off against Australia.
The World Championship of Basketball is brought.
Johnson at center, but the surprising thing, going to 3 guards. But that's an old ploy of Don's. He loves small mismatch type lineups, but it's not going to give them any rebounding advantage.
You told me that in Barcelona you started a different lineup every game, even changed them at halftime.
And we always did it with replaceable parts. In other words, small forward for small forward, big forward. When you start 3 guards, I think that gives you, from a management standpoint of time, more problems in terms of substitution. I think it's easier for the coach if he, in fact, does it by doing it replaceable parts. Australia
led by Andrew Gaze. This is their coach, Barry Barnes. He's been with the national team for 10 years. He is the guy that will coach the '96 Olympic team, and he was an assistant in '90 in the World Championship of Basketball, as well as the '92 Olympics. Don Nelson, the first NBA coach to serve as the head mentor of the USA, just finished his 6th year with the Golden State Warriors. The home team will be the USA. They're in their white, and Australia, who has never beaten the USA. They are 0 for 9, but Australia did a very good job of the last World Championship. As you look at Danko Radic of Croatia and Peter Phipps of Canada, the 2 officials, in the 90 games, they lost to the USA by only 1 point, 79-78.
Yeah, they played very, very well.
And so at center circle for the Australian team is Mark Bradkey, 6'10" from Melbourne. The USA with the tip, and Mark Price will get it started. Diving inside, the reverse, not there by Smith. Long hop, headed for a moment, and Bradkey, big and strong, comes out with a rebound. Here is Gaze. He is leading the World Championship of Basketball in scoring, averaging over 26 a game. Down low, and Bradkey on the pass, able to put it away.
A set play, a lob off a high post pick.
Here's Joe Dumars, who might be that leader that you're talking about. He had a strong first game of 21 points, and he's able to tie it up.
Australia is struggling to play that simple pick and roll. Let Joe easily get into the lane for a wide open shot. They'll have to do a better job, or the American team will run it all night long.
Here's Shane Heel, their point guard, and it goes to Bradkey again. He's had 2 very good games in the World Championship of Basketball. Gaze, who played for P.J. Carlissimo at Seton Hall. Nice stroke.
Yeah, very nice. Against a very good defensive player. He took Joe off the dribble, and the European teams, international teams, love to try to take you off the dribble.
Mark Price going inside. Bradkey asserting himself early in this ball game. Here's Heel. He's really a 2, learning to play the point guard. Tony Robinson, who played 1 year at Arizona State, gives Australia now a 6-2 lead. Joe Dumars in the lane. Bradkey again hitting the boards. It'll be off of Bradkey. Andrew Gaze, a shot a moment ago, showing his touch.
Here he catches the ball on the wing. Joe comes up. Joe Dumars, and he takes him off the dribble. Goes right, pulls up, and he's got some touch on the move. That's a very difficult shot.
Australia has not missed for the field. They're 3 of 3. The USA 1 of 5 as Derek Coleman is fouled, ducking inside. Let's take a look now at the differences in this game from the NBA. There'll be 2 20-minute halves and the trapezoid lanes. You take it from there, Chuck.
3-point field goal, only 20.6, which is much closer than the NBA 3. Makes it simpler. 30-second shot clock. Ball alive above the cylinder. 5 foul limit. Technical foul is the same as a personal foul.
Yeah, they're in 3 feet 2 inches closer than the NBA. Derek Coleman able to make it a 6-3 game. Interestingly enough, Chuck, 2 of the starters tonight have the least minutes up to this point. That being Steve Smith and Derek Coleman.
Well, I'm sure Don is trying to appease the people who've been sitting there. When he took this job, I gave him a stopwatch. I said, that'll be your biggest problem.
You were telling me, though, after Barcelona, they were very even as far as the minutes are concerned for all your players. As Heel misses from outside. And that will be off of Dream Team 2.
Yeah, the average was about 17 to 18 minutes with the exception of Michael, who got 23, and that was because of injuries.
Here's Heel again, the 6-footer. He plays for the Brisbane Bullets in their National Basketball League. Gaze is missing. Larry Johnson rips it down. And a foul on Heel as Price tries to come up the floor.
Well, the Americans are really looking to run, and that's not a bad foul to keep Price from getting down court and getting into the lane. The best way to play internationally, get stops and run. Don't try to set up. Already, I think the third guard is making it difficult for the Americans to get second shots.
One thing they wanted to do is spread it out, Australia did. Make them come out defensively.
They are not playing the clock there. They're going, and they're playing very aggressive offensively. They're not trying to take time off the clock.
Here's Coleman backing down. Steve Smith take it inside. Nice pass to Coleman. Coleman showing how strong he is.
Oh, he's a great player. He's a great talent. Probably one of the 5 or 6 most talented players in the league.
I tell you, Chuck, 2 years ago in the playoffs against Cleveland, he was just absolutely stunning as Bradkey hammers that one home, and the foul as well. Bradkey in the early going has surprised me.
Yeah, and Heel taking it off that high post screen, getting in the lane. Watch this, getting in the lane, and a beautiful dish off, making a very simple shot going for this third. Here it is from an overhead view. Simple dish off, nice play.
Steve Smith committed the foul. Bradkey is 26 years old. He's Gaze's teammate on the Melbourne Tigers team. He's had a 19-point game and a 16-point game in 2 previous occasions in this tournament. Here comes Johnson.
Transition defense. They just didn't get back, even off a free throw. They've got to get back. That's where the Americans will hurt them, both for easy 2s and dunks.
You said, though, that's always been a problem for the Europeans.
Europeans in almost every level of basketball. Anybody coaches knows the problem with transition defense.
Heel leaves it short. Here comes LJ on the move. Good to see him back after having the problems this year at the back. Derek Coleman from outside. And Bradkey comes down with it again. This is not a big team. Bradkey's their tallest guy at 6'10". They have 3 guys over 6'9".
They have nice size up front, very active. They're not playing with any awe. They don't look like they're playing with any fear. They're playing very confidently right now.
This guy really is. Bradkey ducks inside and he's fouled. It brings up a good point, Chuck. We talked to the Australian coach. He said Dream Team 1, they looked at those guys as legends. They don't look at awe at this team as much.
Yeah, not nearly as much. They don't seem to have the same awe. In fact, in talking to them, here's Mark Bradkey, 2-time Olympian, member of the national team since 1987, second appearance in the World Championship.
And in the early going is playing extremely well. Bradkey with 5 points in the ball game. This is a good shooting team. They're shooting 79% as a team from the field, 48% from the field.
Almost all the international teams spend much more time on shooting Normally in this country, we depend on the players to do it, not during formal practices. Not so in Europe. They spend the time on shooting.
Little pressure here, but Price has it stripped by Gaze, so the pressure pays off. 2-on-1. Heel to Gaze.
Nice play. They're trying to keep Price out of the other end and stop the ball from getting down court.
Barry Coleman, a little jump hook. Bradkey fights him for it. Out it comes to Heel again to Gaze. Gaze, his dad, is here doing commentary for the Australia Network. Misses there, fouled by Blaha. Andrew Blaha, who played at Stanford, with a follow.
It looks to me like Don's even thinking about taking a timeout.
And you did not take a timeout in the entire games in Barcelona. Here's Larry Johnson, and that ends a 6-0 run by Australia. You're right, though. This team, Australia, has come out here. They are not in awe, or they don't even show a lot of respect right now. As Heel hits a three.
Playing with great confidence. This is one of the things that's going to happen. As these teams play our American teams, they're going to be less in awe and play harder. I don't know when and if they will ever beat us, but they will play us better as the years go on.
Radke committing the foul. It was fun to talk to Barry Barnes and that Australian brogue that he has. We're going to take a break. 17-10 Australia.
Inside. And they have guys that can shoot it and they can drive it. Andrew Gaze is primarily their offensive threat, but everybody else is pretty good at driving the ball, shooting the ball, with probably a weakness with their inside play. We think we can take advantage of that.
Right now, Chuck Daly's got to be concerned about the shooting. 64%, Australia 7 of 11.
Yeah, they've gotten 2 more shots, and they've opened up the floor. They've hit a 3. They play very aggressively, and I think the USA will respond. I think Don is right now discussing with his assistants, when do we make a move for other people to see what we can get going.
Well, no changes yet. The starting 5 still in there for Dream Team 2 as we have 15:29 to go in this first half. 2 20-minute halves, 8 minutes less than the NBA. Mark Price comes out and able to get that one to go. Mark Price, by the way, the only player on Dream Team 2 that wasn't drafted in the first round. Radke a little flat with a shot, and he and Coleman are going to have a hell ball.
Mark Price trying to get in the lane every time, advancing on Neal. That time Neal had to back off. Spacing is such a problem with those kind of guards that have that kind of ability.
Had to wipe off the ball, some moisture on it. There's been a lot of complaints about this basketball by the USA team.
Well, when you're not used to it, it is a different ball than they're used to, but they will adjust.
That was Tony Ronaldson, who's been improving his three-point shooting, not able to get that one to go. But they talk about the seams being a lot bigger on this ball.
It is different. In Dream Team 1, we sent them balls long before it actually started. They're starting to penetrate. Joe penetrates, finds the open man.
Steve Smith makes it a 17-15 game. So the United States, who trailed by as many as 7, now has climbed within 2. Heel with a 3. Scott Heel, 6 of 18 in threes before he came to this ball game. He's hit 2 here tonight.
That's the second time they've run that high post for Hill for that kind of a shot.
Gaze playing tough defense on Dumars. Garrett Coleman with Bradkey on him. Coleman with a couple of moves and very nice touch. 20-17 Australia. Here's Bradkey with a double pump. Looked like he might have traveled there. I thought he came back down, but I guess not.
Unless they call it, it goes. It's what you see.
Bradkey with 8 points in the ball game. LJ answering at the other end. United States now getting a better look at the basket. And that ball batted out of bounds. It'll be Australia's basketball. So Don Nelson's team trailing 22-19. They trailed by only 1 point previously in this tournament. That was late in the first half against Spain.
They get the ball in too deep, and then it's almost impossible to stop a guy like Larry Johnson on that fadeaway jumper in the lane.
Grandma Ma is 3 of 3 in this ball game for the field. Here's Gaze taking it inside at 6'7". He left it short. Rebound is cleared inside by Pat Reedy, who just checked in. Reedy has missed only 1 shot in this tournament. He's come in here 8 of 9. They love his future.
They've done a really good job of getting to the offensive board. Here's Price again, getting to the basket on Heel. Heel's struggling, and they're both struggling with each other because they both have penetrating ability.
And here he comes, Shaquille O'Neal into the ball game. He's only hit 22 of his last 27 shots.
Not bad. Here he is. He gets a strip there, gets it back, pauses, and nice little soft left-handed jump hook.
He's only 23. They think he's going to be a force in Australian basketball. It's a three by Mark Price.
USA heating up, making almost every shot since they got down big there early.
That timeout really settled him down.
There's that high post screen again.
Here's Reedy looking inside, and away from the ball, we have a collision. Heel was trying to shake loose, and we're going to have a foul on Joe Dumars. That will be his first foul. Now, you do not start shooting free throws until the 8th team foul of each half. And thus far, Australia with 4, the USA with 3. Heel again.
He is not bashful at that three-point line.
No conscience. Joe Dumars now looking to tie this ball game up. Vlahoff guarding Larry Johnson. He backs down, and Vlahoff has committed the foul.
Very, very tough for the postman to handle Johnson. Got to put a forearm on him if you start getting the second hand. He's got a post-up position, starts. Now he's reaching in. Now he starts backing down. As he gives ground, he has no chance. He has to bang him. He gets the foul called.
Heel comes out of the ball game now, and Phil Smythe is checked in. He's their oldest player at 36. And Shaquille inside. What a show he put on Sunday in that victory. He had 7 dunks and just brought the whole house down.
He's the guy. He's so difficult to play. Size, quickness, speed, agility.
Well, they're really calling it away from the ball, aren't they? Smith this time was hung up with Reedy, and Steve Smith will commit the foul. That'll be the second on Steve Smith as Australia will inbound at the 12:38 mark. We're tied at 24. Here comes Reedy. Boy, he's playing with some confidence. Shaquille is there, and he is fouled. And the foul is going to go, I think, on Vlahoff. So he's picked up 2. Vlahoff, who played with Adam Keefe, the #1 draft pick of the Atlanta Hawks when he played for the Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, if they continue to call a game like this, it will affect Australia because they don't have the depth, and it'll take away some of their big people as we go down the stretch.
Yeah, if you look at the minutes, they're going only about 7 deep thus far.
Exactly. Here's the pick and roll. Let's see how they play. Price comes off wide open. Most difficult play to play maybe in basketball. That's why it's run so often.
And that's the first lead of the ball game for the United States. They take a 27-24 lead. Our Price has come out since that break and has just nailed everything. Here is Smythe, 36 years of age, and a little absence of hair there. You can see he is the veteran on this team. Let's go back to that play. Let you re-describe how Price gets open.
Here he comes. He takes him. Gets him down. This was a play before we just pulled up simply for the jump. He came off the screen, and they did not defend it. They've got to do something about it, and the Americans will run it all night.
Steve Smith just picked up his 3rd foul. Remember now, 5 is the limit. So he's got to get out of there at the first opportunity as Sean Kemp is getting ready to come in. Smith with 3 personals with his first starting call here tonight. Here is Smythe. Into Bradkey. Challenge Shaquille. He knew he was in the vicinity, and he traveled.
Intimidation. That's what O'Neal gives them. They're not going to get the same shots they were getting in the lane because of his span.
So Bradkey did everything. He traveled. He looped it up. Still couldn't get anything to go.
Tonight's participant is Cliff Walker.
Oh, hello, Mr. Amatsu. You know, your shipment is ready.
Rock and roll. Heel isolates over here. Then he starts off, gets the pick up high. Then he's going to keep coming for the three-point shot in this area right here. And it's a play that they've consistently run. Trying to get an open shot.
Both teams shooting extremely well. USA almost at 59%. Australia over 52. Shaquille shoots down at the basket that time. Smythe comes up with the ball. Phil Smythe, who plays for the Adelaide 36ers. And this is his 5th World Championship of basketball. Barry Barnes, coach, said it's just too bad he's getting older and age is catching up with him a little bit.
Yeah, 14 years. He was the captain of the Australian team. A real veteran.
From outside, Vlahoff off with the three, and it's tied at 27-10 for Sean Kemp. It'll be Australia's ball. Kemp coming in during that break, replacing Steve Smith, who sits down with 3 fouls.
The Australians doing a good job of getting back on that play because Shaq is going to run right to the rim, and they're going to try to get him the ball there. They fronted him and got the tip. They're going to have to continue to transition and stop him from getting the ball in that area.
Blahoff's three a while ago ended a USA 17-7 run in 3.5 minutes. Gaze inside, draws traffic. He has Kemp and Shaquille both on top of him as he goes inside.
There was a pick and roll by the Australians, and he went baseline, drawing the foul, taking the ball to the basket. I think you can get Shaq in foul trouble in some incidents by taking the ball to the basket.
USA substitution, number 11, Kevin.
There is Gaze. His dad, Lindsey, is the coach of the Melbourne Tigers, the team he plays for. You can see in '94, he's the leading scorer with that average. Andrew Gaze, 3-time Olympian, and as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, he played for P.J. Carlissimo's team, and that was the '89 Final Four in Seattle. They got to the championship game against Michigan.
Right, Ramil Robinson hits 2 free throws to win the championship.
And of course, P.J. Carlissimo now in the NBA, the new coach of the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, they're all looking forward to welcoming him.
You got to give him any advice?
No, he'll learn. He'll learn.
In a hurry,
it's a whole different game. He'll have fun, though. He's a fun guy, terrific guy, and a great worker.
Here is Smythe as Kevin Johnson now is coming to the ball game. Kevin, who leads the team in assists, playing the tough defense on Smythe. Bradkey ducking in. Shaquille has changed his game, hasn't he?
He really comes to block the shot, really patrolling the lane.
All of a sudden, the effectiveness of Bradkey has been short-circuited as at the other end a foul on Vlahoff.
Here he comes trying to get to the lane, up and in, and he times it perfectly. Unbelievable timing for a man of his size. Look at this. On the floor, still reaches up and gets it. Not many players can make that play.
I don't think Bradkey has seen that kind of a player in his days in Australia down under.
That's one of the problems you have. You haven't seen these kind of plays. You've seen the play, but until you actually get on the floor with him and have it happen, you say, how does he get that extra 6 inches to get his hand on the ball?
By the way, a moment ago, Vlahoff picked up his 3rd foul. He's going to have to come out. Ronaldson will come in at the first break. So Vlahoff picked up 3. Steve Smith 3 for the United States. We're even at 29. Remember now, the last time these two met in the World Championship of Basketball, the USA won by 1 point, 79-78. They also met in the bronze medal game in Seoul in '88 and played very well against the United States that time. Kevin Johnson has to back it out. Smythe able to stop his penetration. 9:35 left in the first half.
Now let's play.
Dumars had Reedy in his face, but good concentration.
What a great shooter.
Well, you watched him so many years, taking you to 2 NBA titles. MVP in the '89 finals.
He's got some game. Not only a great offensive player, one of the best defensive players at the 2 spot in the entire game.
And a great person, too.
Yeah, he is. Terrific kid.
Here is Bradkey from outside. He says, I can't go inside. I'll try it outside.
Oh, they got a steal.
Smythe, he's going to set up for a 3. And positioning well is shot. Kemp and Reedy comes up with a steal. He'll try a 3. They still don't have it, but they have the ball. Here is Gaze ducking inside. He's pretty quick. Reverses him.
Great play. Getting in the lane. Great body control.
Ties it up at 31. Andrew Gaze now with 8 points in the ball game.
You might as well bring everybody. It's not going to make any difference once he gets that position.
Shaquille has been unstoppable. Thrown away. Shaquille comes up with it. Ahead it comes, and again Reedy with the steal. That's 2 steals now by Reedy, the 23-year-old from Melbourne. And then they turn it over.
Inadvertent play.
Let's go back to Gaze to show the quickness on that play a moment ago.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's deceptively quick. He stumbles even. Might have taken a little walk there. got body control and was able to get it. He doesn't look like the kind of player that has that kind of body control, but we do give him an extra step there.
Well, he's a coach's kid. His dad, Lindsey Gaze, the coach for so many years. We mentioned earlier he's doing the commentary on the Australian Network, which is going to be shown at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. That's what it will be time-wise. this game tonight, as that foul is going to go on Sean Kemp. That's his second.
Yeah, Sean trying to post up. They're being very aggressive in the post-ups, which I'm sure what Don wants in order to try to get that position, create inside-outside action.
He comes back into the ball game. They took him out briefly. Good ball movement. Ronaldson ducking in, loses it, regains it. Reggie Miller is coming to the game. Comes up with the ball, and he is fouled by Gaze. 7:47 to go in the first half. United States by 2. Dream Team 2 is back to Toronto. The skyline, as in the background you can see the CN Tower and that lighted stadium. The Sky Dome, the home of the Toronto Blue Jays, the defending world champions, and also the site of the championship game in this tournament August 14th. Brian Hill, you think he's checking up on Shaquille O'Neal's back?
Yeah, he heard about his back. He won't come up here because his paycheck is on the line.
And Jerry Krause watching Tony Kukoc, who's playing for Croatia.
Yeah, Jerry's done a marvelous job of putting their clubs. I think he's about ready to redo that club, I sense, this year.
And Kukoc becoming the highest paid player in the history of the Chicago Bulls. Reggie Miller as Billy Knight also. What a basketball player in the ABA days.
And quite a tennis player these days.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, he's making the circuit.
Into the ball game now for the first time for Australia is Ray Boyner. He is 6'9". He's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He has been in 3 World Championship tournaments as well as 3 Olympic contests. He's number 15 for the Aussies. 35-31. The United States, they've led in this game twice after trailing 17-10 earlier. And Dumars.
There's the pick and roll again. They just let him go in the lane. Nobody steps up. Nobody helps.
USA on a 10-2 run right now. A lot of this started when the Shaq man came in.
Exactly, and I think Australia's got to be very careful right here and take much better shots. They've taken 2 wild shots. I think they're in a position to get in trouble right here with 7:11 to go in the first half.
Reedy will go to the free throw line. Gaze now will come out. That last foul was on Shaquille, his first. And this is Damian Keogh. He's a 32-year-old, and he's been a member of the Australian national team since 1980.
That's longer than I can remember.
Well, stay with TNT all week. We'll bring you more World Championship basketball. The Dream Team 2 will be back at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Puerto Rico taking on the USA. And then Friday, Russia. We watched them earlier today defeat Puerto Rico, and very athletic-looking team.
Yeah, they're a nice basketball team. They're preparing for the Olympics. They've got a lot of young players, and they're very sound fundamentally.
And Kemp ducks inside. He's fouled by Keogh, who just checked in. Sean Kemp's Sunday in the second half was absolutely scintillating. He came in and just destroyed the opponent.
Well, I remember that when he came into the league just prior to the draft, we tried him out. He ran up and down twice. I said, I'm leaving. I've seen enough. He is that good. One of the rising young stars in our game.
A budding superstar, a guy who never played collegiately at 26 years of age, already been to the All-Star game twice, back-to-back. First since Jack Sikma did that for Seattle. Here's Heel from outside, and that's his third 3.
He can shoot it. They know what they're doing. Barry Barnes has done a good job of preparing this club. He keeps changing up offensively, runs a cutting offense. He runs an isolation offense. Here's the pick and roll again for Miller.
Reggie Miller, the second leading scorer on the team, averaging 16. That was a tough shot. He may have gotten a foul out of that, but no whistle. 39-35, the USA. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Borner, the man we were talking about earlier, tried to get it inside to Reedy. Reedy recovered it. Reedy seems to be in the right place all the time.
Yeah, he's a scrappy kid. Gets around, gets his hand in the passing lane, works very hard. I think it's the work ethic part of it that gets it done.
Reedy with 8 points. As we mentioned, he has really given Australia great hope for the future. Here's Sean Kemp. Nice body control off the glass.
Again, pick and roll. They couldn't control it.
Heel, who really is a shooting guard, being moved to a point guard. You can see why, the way he's been putting them up from outside. Borner had that one blocked by Sean Kemp. Here comes KJ. Kevin Johnson coming off that super year for the Suns. Takes it all the way. Boy, you got to make him pick up the ball. He'll take it all the way.
He will. You've got to get the ball stopped. Primary in any defensive scheme, you must get the ball stopped. Here's that high pick and roll. They're doing a better job now. Kevin Johnson got over the pick and roll.
5.5 minutes left now in this first half of play. United States, Puerto Rico here tomorrow night, Friday against Russia. As Borner missed everything on that one.
Here's KJ coming down for it. Nobody gets the ball stopped, and he's unmolested to the basket for an easy 2.
USA substitution.
I tell you, that explosive first step, nobody can guard him.
Now he's one of the great point guards in the NBA, and almost impossible to play. And when he's making his outside shot, it becomes even more difficult.
3-time NBA All-Star. He had a triple-double this year. Points, steals, and assists. That's a very unusual triple-double. Here's Dan Marley, his teammate Phoenix, who's come in. Off the Was that an explosive move?
That came off the pick and roll. They reversed the ball.
45-37, United States. Inside the reverse by Ronaldson, not there. Out it comes to Reggie Miller. Here's Marley, who's hit 3 of 8 from three-point land. They pinch off Kevin. Didn't make any difference. He just spins and gets it to go anyway.
They're scoring in almost every possession. Making shots, good execution.
Heel again. Heel continues to shoot well. Doesn't get that one over the back. Let's go back now and listen to this move by Sean Kemp.
Well, we were almost here late night with that one.
USA now on a 28 run since Shaquille O'Neal came into the ball game. Kevin Johnson started the first 2 games for Don Nelson. Kemp tries to save it, and we're going to have a jump ball.
Jump ball. Jump ball.
Substitutions now. Smythe wants to come in as Vlahoff is well for Australia.
Number 14.
Barry Barnes substituting frequently, trying to get all of his people, I think, in the game in the first half.
And we have a timeout by Australia. The United States on top by 10. Hey, by 10, and there's Mount Mutombo, Dikembe Mutombo, who led the NBA in block shots.
Well, he gave Seattle a clinic. I mean, no one would ever have figured that. I think he averaged, what, 6 or 7 blocks a game.
Well, the USA winning by an average of 31, but you won by an average of 43.8 in Barcelona.
I don't think it had anything to do with the coaching.
Croatia, you can see, doing a very good job, and that's an average of 29 points by victory, and many people feel they will win the silver. Here is Marley inside, partially deflected. Pat Reedy, 3-on-2, pulling up with the left-hander and able to nail it as Damian Keough.
They really looked to pull up for that 3.
That was a very good job that time by Reedy, getting out and distributing the ball. 47-40. United States, after starting slowly, hitting 1 of 5, have hit 18 of their last 21 shots. They're shooting 73% for the game. Kevin Johnson and Sean Kemp.
They're trying to front Kemp. They're trying to front O'Neal, and it's allowing for those easy tips.
Vlahoff missing. And we have a foul. In the international rules, you can get up on that cylinder.
You can get up, do anything you want. They go any direction they want, get it off the basket, whatever. Here they are. They're fronting the post. He gets in the lane. Easy tip because they were fronting the post. It's so easy to get to the basket with that easy tip. Here's another look. Slides inside. Reedy goes to sleep on the play. Makes for an easy tip.
That foul going on Bradley, his second, and now Alonzo Mourning will come in for the first time.
USA substitution.
We're going to have Kemp, Mourning, O'Neal. No, O'Neal's going to come out of the ball game.
What a management job it is to try to keep everybody involved and happy and playing minutes, because they all want 40 minutes. They all want to play.
Do you have an assistant in a situation like this reminding you that you're not getting somebody in?
Yes. We didn't have too much of a problem except for a latter game. Yeah, here they are. Miller, 26. Kevin Johnson, 22 with the 2 high. Joe, 20. Coleman and Smith struggling to get minutes. That's why they started tonight.
He, along with Smith, with the least minutes coming into the game, both got the starting call. And Dan Marley, who's been such a defensive stopper for the Suns, fouls Andrew Gaze. O'Neal, Shaquille checks out with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and a block shot, but he just changed the game.
He did change the game and put them in a position to lead. He intimidated in the lane, plus his ability to post up made it very difficult for them to defend.
Not bad, 69%. This USA team is shooting 59% coming into tonight for the previous 3 games. But when you got a guy like Shaquille with all those dunks, that helps your average a little bit, your percentage. And John Kemp disputing that call. It's going to be off of Kemp. Australia inbound with 28 seconds on the shot clock.
Got beat on the offensive board, and I'm sure that Don is unhappy about that. That really upsets coaches.
Radke started out so well, and then Shaquille just came in and shut him down. He's been a non-factor since. And Keogh was fouled by Reggie Miller.
Yeah, he stepped in. They ran a pick and roll. Mourning stepped out, stopped the pick and roll. Then Miller put his body into him. Here it is. Comes out. He gets by him. Actually, he was pushed off, and he faked the foul, but he got the call.
Keogh will go to the line, the 32-year-old. You know, when we look back at Dream Team 1, a lot of your offense came off the defense. I think a statistic of 75% of your scoring.
Yeah, I would say at least. We rarely had to set up, because we were just so good at getting stops and getting out and running. Great point guard, of course, in Magic, or when Michael had it, whoever happened to have it at the point guard, we could really run the basketball.
53-40, biggest lead of the ball game now for Dream Team 2. Smythe being harassed by Kevin Johnson.
The U.S. club is picking up defensively, getting much more aggressive.
Really extending out, aren't they? Here is Gaze now as Kemp commits a foul. And Gaze must feel like there's 6 guys coming at him at once out there.
He's going to be defended because they know they've got to shut him down. He is a third of the offense most nights.
His third.
Crossover, gets in the lane. Nobody steps up. They allow him to go to the basket. In the United States, someone hopefully would step up and not let him get there, try to block the shot, not give him the lane.
Andrew Gaze is at a 31 and a 30-point game in their 2 victories. The loss they had, he scored only 19. Here tonight, he has 9.
That's what will happen frequently against the USA. They will take the best scorer out of the game, and it makes it very difficult for the opposition to score enough points.
53-42, the United States, who at one time trailed in this ball game 17-10. But they made some changes and picked up their play. Reggie Miller, nice ball fake, and he got the foul. And if that's on Vlahoff, that's 4 on him. And he's going to have to come out of there.
Yeah, he comes out of there. This is one of the problems. They just aren't deep enough. He's so important to their club. He's one of their best players.
Very physical player. They love his defensive ability. As he comes out with his 4th foul, and coming into the ball game now is Paul Rees, number 13. This is his first major international competition, a 25-year-old.
Barry Barnes was talking today. We asked him about what's happening with basketball in Australia, and he seems to think it's on the rise, and the other sports are concerned about it because they want their players involved in their football and soccer and their other sports. But there's a great interest in Australia, and I think it'll continue to get bigger. We send more and more coaches down there for clinics to try to educate them, become better basketball players, and a lot of our teams are going down there.
Well, TNT's Hubie Brown went down under to give some of his expertise. As we now have 2:17 to go in this first half. Think about this Australia team. They'd love to have Luke Longley, the 7-footer from Chicago, but his wife is expecting a baby at any moment. Now they expect to have him for the '96 Olympics.
Well, he's made a significant difference. I thought he went to Chicago and became a very significant member of that club. There's Gaze again with his 3-pointer.
Boy, he gets any room, he can really hurt you. Andrew Gaze now with 12 points in the ball game. Less than 2 to go in the first half, and Reeves, who just checked in, commits the foul. Little crossover by Marley, and he got his feet all tangled up.
Yeah, they're getting in the lane, and more foul trouble for the Australians.
Australia, their best finish in the World Championships was in '82. They finished 5th that year. And their best finish in the Olympics, as we mentioned, was that performance in Seoul in '88. They finished 4th, losing to the United States in the bronze medal game.
Yeah, Coach Barnes says he felt they should have won the game. They took 2 bad shots, I think, at the end. But he thought they really had a chance to win that basketball. Obviously did, losing only by 1.
Barnes took most of these players on a 2.5-week tour of the United States, playing the likes of Kansas and Kentucky and UNLV, UCLA. Valuable experience for this Australia team.
Yeah, they had a big win against Pitino's club in Kentucky, which was a little bit of a surprise, I think.
Here's Keogh on the pass from Smythe. Gaze is fouled as he ducks inside. Gaze does a good job working away from the ball.
He does. And their offense, they're running that cut off the high post, and then the weak side forward comes up. If they overplay, he goes back off the center and gets in the lane and dishes off. They've run it successfully.
Well, Andrew Gaze started playing basketball at age 6. His dad, Lindsay, renowned coach in Australia, so he's been around it. He's one of those coaches' kids who know how to play the game. 14 points for Andrew Gaze. He's been shooting 50% from the field. He had missed only 1 free throw in the previous 3 games.
Yeah, you wonder. I think strength was a problem for Gaze in the NBA. He's not big and strong. He doesn't have great strength, and he doesn't have great athletic ability from the waist down, but he does have savvy. He does shoot well. Really works the game. Dangerous player.
Nice shot that time by Alonzo Mourning. Gaze tried to get the ball inside, deflected by Mourning. Behind the back to Reeves, and he's fouled. But give Gaze a lot of credit. That was a heads-up behind the back pass.
He's a digger. He's a very relentless player on the offensive end. Great pass. That's only from a tremendous amount of experience.
All Reeves at the line.
Well, his team, the Melbourne Tigers, are the defending NBL champions. That's the equivalent to the NBA. But right now, their Professional Basketball League is on a 3-week hiatus, waiting for these players to get back.
Good idea to stop it when you have your best player in Toronto, Canada. You better stop your league play.
So Reeves now with another free throw coming. As I said, they shoot free throws very well, 79% as a team. 10-point lead for the Dream Team 2. As Dominic Wilkins had just checked in, able to hit that. That's got to help him. He missed his first 7 shots Sunday, so that's got to help his resolve as he comes into this ball game.
Never bothers a Dominic Wilkins. He can miss 12 in a row, and he's going to take the next one. Those guys, shooters, never stop.
Dominic trying to battle his way back into shape. As Bradkey to the hole. That was partially deflected, I think, by Alonzo Mourning. Reggie Miller on the drive, and he is fouled by Keogh.
Great defensive play by Mourning. He got beat on the baseline, came from behind, still was able to get the hand on the basketball. What a defensive play. Here he comes, getting in the lane. He's got him beat. Look at this play from behind, gets the ball. Looked like a sure 2.
Bradkey's saying, where are these guys coming from? I always was able to do this in Australia.
The Australian team right now is struggling to get baskets. They were getting easier baskets in the lane early. They get nothing. They can't get, they either get fouled or they don't get the shot off.
Reggie Miller with the first free throw makes it 61-48. Reggie coming into this ball game was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Interestingly enough, he leads his team in steals. I don't think people realize defensively what he can contribute.
He has really improved defensively, and he had a marvelous year for Indiana. That was no surprise what they did against the Knicks. They came on very early. They got much more physical. Donnie Walsh has put together a good roster. Larry Brown did a great job.
Don Nelson said, hey, I was supposed to get Larry Johnson into the ball game. And they were buzzing on the far side, and Don says, hey, I want my guy in here with 25.6 seconds left.
This is one of the more difficult things you have to do, is getting substitutions into the game. It's so different. We just, in the NBA, we send them up and they report in, and it's very easy. In international rules, it's much more difficult.
Anyway, he has LJ into the ball game, or wanted to get him in. They won't let him in. And here it comes now to Smythe. Last 20 seconds now this first half. Johnson giving Smythe a lot of trouble. He picked up the dribble, and that was a mistake. Now he has to do it again. 6 seconds.
USA really pressuring. I don't know if we're going to get a shot off. Only Gaze could get that shot off.
Marley was in his face, and that was a piece of defense by the USA.
Great defense down the stretch.
So the United States trailed by 7 early and outscored Australia 31-17. And you can see the halftime leads. Spain was the game that really surprised everyone. They were down at the very end of that first half, then had an 8-point intermission break. China, no problem. Brazil, 12. And tonight by 14. We'll be back with our halftime in just a moment. 61-17 to have this halftime lead of 62-48. Coming up on the McDonald's halftime report, the World Championship update of today's scores and highlights, as well as current pool standings, and a look back at Dream Team 1 as they traveled from the Tournament of Americas to Barcelona and winning the 1992 Olympic gold medal. Also, highlights and stats, all that coming up next. Well, the quarterfinal round got underway last night here in the Maple Leaf Gardens. Many people feel that Croatia is the team that will win the silver, that could give the United States the most trouble. Well, they won last night as a couple of NBA players that led the way for Croatia as they defeated China 105-73. Tony Kukoc, tremendous passing game, had 15 assists. He finds this one to Dino Radja of the Boston Celtics. Kukoc with a nice drive down the lane. And then Dino Radja jams home this nice bounce pass for two of his team high 23 points. The Croatian fans celebrate, and Croatia continues on with a 105-73 victory over China. Another game last night, Greece against Canada, right here in the Gardens. Probably the best game of the tournament thus far. Panis Christodoulou led Greece with 26 points. Tough drive as he takes it inside. Greece is up by 4 with 1:34 left. Enjoy victory with a steal. And Corey Hallis nails his second three-pointer in less than a minute to put Canada down by 1. But after a block shot, Canada down by 1 has a final chance to win. But Rick Fox of the Boston Celtics loses his balance, and Greece steals the game with the dunk by Fossilis, and they go ahead to win it 74-71. Sadness in defeat for the Canadians, playing before their home crowd. Joy and celebration for Greece. Scores of other games at Topps Coliseum in Hamilton. As you look at the 74-71 final, it was Spain over South Korea, 98-57. Spain, 45 second-half points to South Korea's 18. And Argentina with a 91-66 victory over Egypt. Cuba losing to Brazil, 82-76. And Germany, who was upset early in this tournament and did not get into Group 1 or 2 to vie for the gold medal, defeated Angola, 86-76. And earlier tonight, Russia against Puerto Rico. Sergei Basarev with a running left-hander, and Russia led by his 27 points. Then a long pass to Jose Ortiz, and he gets a layup. A Russian dunk. And their game was working all night as they beat Puerto Rico by 16 points. And Russia remains unbeaten. They are 4-0 in this World Championship of basketball. And looking at the classification round, these are the ones that will be vying for the positions 9 through 16. Spain, 94-52 over Spain. I should say over Egypt. And Argentina defeating South Korea 105-83. And then it was Cuba beating Angola 75-71. And at the first half, a game going over the Topps Coliseum in Hamilton as we speak. Brazil and Germany deadlocked in the first half of play at 38. So the United States will play tomorrow night here against Puerto Rico and then against Russia on Friday as they continue in their quest for the gold. We'll be back with more at halftime in just a moment. Dream Team 1. What a conquest that was of Barcelona. Let's go back to 1992 and watch Dream Team 1 in Barcelona. For Dream Team 1, their quest for gold began in Portland at the Basketball Tournament of Americas.
Magic all the way, goes to the left hand. You just marvel at Magic Johnson.
And I think the world is waiting to see the NBA. They don't want to see the collegians. They want to see the best, and we're sending our best right now.
Charles, how you like that ass kicking we gave you?
Oh, no. Come on now. I don't think y'all caught up with it.
Oh, y'all crazy.
The whole second half. The whole second half.
We maybe came down here once.
Man, it's rough life. It's rough life. Sitting here, watching the people swim, getting ready to have dinner with the Prince. Prince Ranier. I know my stuff. The Prince Albert. Not Albert, Albert.
I'm about to catch some of the nice, typical sights and sounds of a Monte Carlo beach. Watch this.
Hi there.
These are some gorgeous women. Come on, man, get out the way. I wonder if she know about the game tonight. Half of them don't even know who I am. They just know I'm tall.
This group may well be the greatest team ever assembled in the history of team sports. And during off days, the members of Dream Team 1 got a chance to meet fellow American athletes in Barcelona.
Hello. My name is Tanya Hughes. I am a high jumper on the USA athletics team.
Weightlifting, Mark Hamm, Silver, Texas. Just going to the business.
Scotty, business you doing, Scotty?
God, you in this camera, don't
Fellow Americans, really not much different from Michael Jordan walking through here. Hi, are you an American?
But of course.
You look wonderful.
Why, thank you.
You like the Dream Team, huh?
Of course. We met Charles Barkley the other night.
Did you? He's a hell of a player. See, you got all the players right there on your shirt. Is Charles the only one you've ever seen?
It's the only one I've ever met.
Hey, guys, do you know any of those guys on there?
That is Jordan.
Where? Who? Who's that? That's your dad? Too bad he's not here.
You play on a team.
I do, yeah.
Who is that guy?
We're making a point that nobody ever recognized you. I hate this. I can't go anywhere without being bugged.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. I just want to be like Chuck. I mean, Mike.
And the United States now leads by 50.
Isn't this fun, Mom?
The U.S. has defeated Croatia, and they have, as expected, won the gold here in Barcelona. And the guy that coached him the goal, Chuck Daly. Chuck, what were you thinking about as you were watching that piece?
You know, these guys had about everything that man can possess. I never saw a group of grown men have so much fun winning a gold medal. By the way, coaches don't get one.
They don't get a gold medal?
No, coaches do not get them. Only participants.
You know, I look at that. There's such dynamic personalities. Each one of those guys really so different.
Yeah, I've used the word majestic. I mean, we had the best players in the 80s, into the 90s. They were all legends almost before their time and came together as a group, played very well as a team.
Well, I know you still enjoy it 2 years later.
Yeah, it's, you know, coaching prevailed again, as it will here.
Well, tell Don Nelson that.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're going to be back with the second half. This United States leading Australia 62-48 from the Maple Leaf Gardens.
Today's halftime report has been brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor.
31-all with 9 minutes to go in that first half. Shaquille came in and things started to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, it changed the game. They started blocking shots, get out and running, really got out in the open floor and got to post-ups. And they really intimidated in the lane, and they did not get any easy shots.
Do you think you would take this 71% from the field if you were a coach?
He better.
It's actually closer to 72%.
72%.
Look at the rebound.
23-15, points in the paint, 32 USA. They just keep coming down, pounding the paint, or they tip the ball back in. Australia 6 for 15, shooting many, many more. USA only 4 attempts, 3 for 4. A little bit of a surprise there.
Let's pick up some plays in that first half, starting with Kevin Johnson.
Kevin came in, did an outstanding job of getting in the lane. He kept pushing the ball, probing the defense, and here he gets all the way to the basket, which is a surprise. They just don't have the shot blocking, so you can get there.
This guy had 3 threes in the first half.
He's got great range and can really nail a shot. He did a couple of them coming off screen. Here's Gaze using screens, and if he gets daylight, he can nail that shot.
Gaze with 15 points in the first half to lead Australia.
KJ again missing the shot, but hello, that kid could only jump.
Yeah, he only had some athleticism, right? As we start the second half, Gaze gets it in now to Ronaldson as Alonzo Mourning partially blocked it. So we have Reggie Miller, Kevin Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Dan Marley, and into the ballgame, Dominic Roken. So a different 5 starting the second half.
Yeah, and I think Australia has really got to go up and get fouled. They're taking the ball up, trying to move the ball around and get shot. They got to go up and try to get fouled. If they shoot shots like that, the USA is going to continue to run.
The follow inside by Ronaldson, and Bradkey just wouldn't give up on that play.
Yeah, good offensive rebound. Really worked hard for that one.
Bradkey started out well, then they brought Shaq in, Alonzo Mourning. All of a sudden, his game had to change. 65-50 the United States. Reggie Miller is fouled by Andrew Gaze. That will be the third on Gaze. They already have Wauhoff with 4. Wauhoff not starting the second half because of the foul difficulty. Pat Reedy's open for Australia.
And they're going to keep probing the Gaze. They're going to keep going at him. He almost picked up his 4th right there.
That's what amazes me about Reggie Miller, how strong he is. You look at him, he doesn't look like he could have the range and the strength he does with that wiry body.
Yeah, it's wiry, tough. And Gaze, as you can see, very slender of leg, very slender of arm. And I think that was the strength thing we talked about was the problem.
Here's Reedy again in the right spot, but not quick enough. And then Reggie Miller lost it out of bounds.
You're right about Reedy. You know, he's got an interesting dig-em-out game, always around the ball, getting a hand on it, makes big plays for him.
See why Barry Barnes, their coach, so excited about his future. Here's Heel going for his 4th 3. That's a long one. That was an NBA one there. And Reggie Miller then is fouled by Heel.
That was an interesting out-of-bounds play. They brought Reedy to the post up, and then Heel just went off a double screen looking for the 3 from an out-of-bounds situation.
You know, when you're playing only 70 and you just see these bodies coming off the bench in waves, that's got to be discouraging to you.
Yeah, that's internationally, the teams have got to get deeper if they are in fact going to compete.
Kevin with that explosive step to Mourning, stripped to the ball by Ronaldson, will be the USA's ball.
Both teams struggling with a high post pick.
18:30 to go. The United States trying to go 4-0 and get ready to play Puerto Rico tomorrow night. Marley with a 3. He set an NBA record this year with 192 threes.
Yeah, he has really developed that shot, brought it to an art form, really.
John Kemp is up there standing, applauding. He has not taken his seat on the bench. Now he's going to maybe stretch it out a little bit as he sits down. Here is Gaze. Heel from outside. He's going to continue to pump him. Dominic has it stripped. Gaze will put it back up.
Heel looks like he's starting to tire his 3-point shot range. He's just not quite getting it, not getting his legs under him.
Here is Marley, who had a shooting slump in the playoffs, but you know that will come back for him. It's a rebound by Bradkey. Bradkey out to Gaze. Bradkey now with 5 rebounds as Gaze has that stripped.
Wrong place to go.
Yep. Miller will try a 3. Bradkey, relentless, brings it out again. You give this team Luke Longley, a 7-footer, to give Bradkey some help in the middle. That would really help this ball club in 96.
They also need another scorer outside along with Gaze.
Ronaldson is fouled. Dominic Wilkins. They've been giving Wilkins a bad time, the oldest member of this team at 34. As Sean Kemp said, he's antique. He said, you know, he played with Caldwell Jones, Major Jones, and Quincy Jones.
He can still put up some numbers. That's why he's going to be a Celtic for a lot of money.
Boy, the Celtics making a lot of changes.
Yeah, they really are. They're trying to bring the franchise back.
Turnover going to the United States. Reggie Miller won that ball quickly so he could get it up the floor. Bradkey has 6 rebounds. Nobody on Australia has more than 2. So he's been doing all the work on the boards for the Australians. The block comes out to Heel.
Immediately, Don Nelson's gone back to the 3-guard situation in his 5. He's got Dumars, he's got Kevin Johnson, and he's got Marley out there, although they can call Marley a small forward. But he's got Miller also, so he's got 3 guards out of his 5 players. Be interesting to see if Australia gets back in at this point with a smaller lineup.
Well, they started out very well against it.
Well, they're able to get to the basket, get some shots, and get some easy ones inside with only 2 shot blockers.
Bradkey hits the free throw. One thing about Bradkey, he plays hard, but he also really runs the floor very well. That last time he got down on the break effectively. 6'10", a 208-pounder. Barry Barnes said the thing that impresses him most, he's a good athlete and going to get better.
They actually almost have 4 guards in here with Marley. 4 guards in Mourning.
Here's Kevin Johnson. They rotated the ball well there. 72-54, the United States. And away from the ball, we have an illegal screen set by Ronaldson.
Here's a case where they swing the ball, they throw it over the top, skip past it, it's in a lane, kicks it to the wing, wide open shot on the baseline. When you move the ball that quickly, bodies can't travel that fast.
Substitution now. Ray Warner has come into the ball game replacing Ronaldson. Ronaldson will sit down with the foul a moment ago. 16:23 left in the ball game. Look at Kevin just go by Heel. Heel is no match for him. Miller to Alonso.
Good ball movement. Excellent passing. Penetration, getting in the lane. That's what a small lineup can do. They create mismatches, make it very difficult for the defensive club.
Gaze has had to work so hard, especially when Dumars is in there. He's been under his chin, and that precipitates another turnover. The good defense. 15:57 to go. 74-54, the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn to the index page of your magazine.
They're getting ready here to put up a three. He was third in the NBA in three-point shooting. There's Marley, who had 192 threes, and he talks about the closer international line.
For being so close, I think it can hurt your game because you want to shoot that shot so often. I mean, you have that shot so many times. You have a tendency to just fire at will because it is so close instead of dumping into the big man. We have such dominant big guys with Shaq and Sean and Alonzo that we have to make sure we take care of them. When you're standing out there, you're so close to the basket and it's worth 3 points. It's hard to turn down those shots.
3 feet 2 inches closer as Dumars misses from outside, and that's a considerable difference.
Yeah, they're really spreading the floor right now. They're using Mourning as their only post-up player, and they're trying to really take people off the dribble, looking for a little bit longer shot, and then getting it. Miller knocks it home.
Had it all the way,
so to speak.
16 points, and that's exactly what Reggie has been averaging in this tournament. Well, I think when you're getting a little bit tired, too, and they start doing that to you, it just makes you tired trying to match some of this quickness.
They're playing their pattern so much better. Now they're really starting to get into a running game.
Marley misses the slam after the feed from Kevin Johnson. Heel's got a wide open shot, and you're right, he's a little tired. He's left all those short.
Yeah, his lift isn't there. He's upset at himself, but it just, the pressure that he had to, was under the first half, made it difficult for him now to convert on those three-point shots.
He's 0 for 4 in the second half shooting-wise after hitting 3 threes early in the ball game. 14:46 left in it. Dumars. Here's Miller again with a three. Reggie was 8 of 18 in threes coming into the game, now with 19 points tonight. Uncanny range.
Yeah, he really does. When he got on the roll, particularly in one New York game. Fabulous outside shooter.
A 10-0 run by the United States, and with an 80-54 lead.
I'm really impressed with the defense. They are playing so aggressive defensively. They're really taking Australia out of everything with a smaller lineup, giving them no chance to get an open shot.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Gaze elects to put it up. Rebound by Mourning. 3-on-1. Dumars will be fouled, and it'll count. You know, that's a good point, Chuck, because in that first game for the United States against Spain, they did not play good defense.
No, right now they're playing good defense. In Australia, here's a great play by Kevin. Look, almost a no-look pass. Dumars, good body control, good strength, gets the ball up and in, gets a chance to convert on three.
And more importantly, as far as Australia is concerned, that's the 4th foul on Andrew Gaze.
See, I think Australia at this point has to change their philosophy defensively. They're still running that same pattern, which is an outside pattern. When they've got mismatches inside, they've got to go inside a little bit more and try to take advantage of it.
Tell you, you have to adjust a lot when you keep bringing in different sizes, different combinations. I mean, you're looking at a different type of team about every 4 or 5 minutes out there.
Would you say we have a lot of weapons?
Just a couple. Here's Reedy from outside. And Bradkey. I'll tell you this guy plays hard.
He really does. Now the crowd's getting into it. They want to see the Australian team score.
83-56. They led earlier in this ball game in the first half 17-10. It was tied 31-all, and the United States has taken off, and they're not looking back now as Alonzo Mourning has committed his third foul.
His third.
Gaze is going to come out of the game now. He looks exhausted as he sits down.
Australia substitution number 6, Bill Smythe.
So Smythe has come in, a veteran. He's played in over 300 international games, and as he tries to pass on the far side, Don Nelson, Derek Coleman, and everybody got hung up on that play, trying to get out of the way.
Derek's on his way into the game, probably for Alonzo.
And Kevin Johnson reaching in, committing the foul on Smythe. And Derek Coleman will come in.
His first 14th foul. USA substitution number 6, Derek Coleman.
Mourning's just getting into the game, but that's one of the problems you have with such limited minutes and all of this talent. Mourning's just getting the game and playing very, very well. Then all of a sudden he's out of the game. Coleman's got to get warmed up and involved in the game.
They're all stars, and they all have egos, and that's what you have to blend as a coach.
It's some job, and Don's done a great job with it, and the guys will accept it. They know what it's all about. They understand that they're playing for the gold medal. There is no how many shots. There are no stats. Nobody really cares about. They'll resolve all of that.
Remember Reggie Miller saying, though, he wanted to have the margin of victory equal to what you guys had in Barcelona. He said, we get the same respect. Well, they come in here with a 31-point spread. They're going to have to work hard to get to that 43.8.
Yeah, and the games are going to get, I think, slightly more difficult in the next couple rounds. I think Croatia, Russia, pretty solid clubs. Not good enough, but solid.
Yep. Reggie Miller with a 3.
Does he ever miss?
Oh, he was. I think it was Don Nelson said, I didn't realize how good this guy is. He only sees him a couple of times a year, being in the Western Conference. He was pleasantly surprised with his total game.
Plays very, very hard. Got the whole package.
Smythe missing. Coleman with a demonstrative rebound. Here is Marley with a 3.
This three-point line is, as they say, all cliche, like taking candy.
In the ball game right now is Michael McKay, number 5. He's in for the first time. They try to get some new bodies in here. Let's go back to these threes. The United States now 9 of 12. Let's look at Reggie Miller's.
He's on the left side and just very effortlessly knows exactly where the line is.
And then Marley from the corner.
And they come right back, and Marley squares up. Makes it very easy.
And the United States with an 89-56 lead. World Championship of basketball. The United States has won 2 gold medals in the previous 11 and leading here 89-56. And tomorrow, Puerto Rico, who lost tonight to Russia, Friday against an undefeated Russian team who was 4-0, and then of course the semifinal on Saturday right here on TNT as a reverse by Reedy, not close. And that was the final earlier here tonight, and I was impressed with Russia. Were you?
Yeah, they're fundamentally sound. They do a good job of boxing out. They're a very smart club, well coached, but I don't know again if they have enough depth, and they're much younger. And I think you'll see the United States team each game, when they know a team is a little bit better, they'll start picking up their intensity, and they'll be ready for those kind of games. I think they're welcoming the challenge at this point.
See that Russia written across the jersey. It gets your adrenaline flowing a little bit, doesn't it? Think about all the years that those two have played, even
particularly that
Russia.
one game.
Yeah,
no one forgets that one.
Don't bring that up to Doug Collins, will you? Just leave that one alone. I don't want to hear that one.
You know, we showed that the day of the final game in Barcelona. I showed that film of that particular game to make sure we had no mistakes.
Did they knock the door down as they came out of the locker room?
They did watch quite carefully, which surprised me.
Oh, it makes you angry every time you see it. I don't care how involved emotionally you are in something like that. 91-56. The United States with the lead. 10:49 left in this ball game. Right now, Barry Barnes used a lot of different players. Try to get inside of McKay. It'll be off of Australia. Substitution now. Mark Price will come back in for the United States. And Blahoff, who's been in foul trouble the entire ball game, comes back in for Australia.
Yeah, they're going to have to, they've got 10 minutes to go. They're going to have to use their best players, try to get back in the game. But they're giving everybody on their club some experience, and I think Coach Barnes, that's one of the things that he wanted to do.
Well, one thing that Coach Barnes is happy about, that they are in the top 8, and that's important as far as the funding is concerned.
Yeah, he talked extensively about that. I was aware of it to a point, but didn't realize how important it was. You must finish that top 8 to keep getting the kinds of monies that you need to continue to develop your program.
Kind of had the sense that the pressure was off a little bit because they did.
He's saying, "You bloody sucker."
No, he said, all those bloody rabbits running around. Remember that?
Yeah. I thought we were talking to Crocodile Dundee for a minute. A little difficult at first till you get the speech pattern down.
Yeah, right.
But a fun guy.
He is a fun guy. And he really enjoyed his visit to the United States. He spoke so highly of Roy Williams of Kansas, last team they played, and what he picked up visiting all those different clubs.
Roy Williams, I think, is taking Kansas down there this next winter. I think they're going to continue to bring those kind of clubs down and trying to learn as much as they can.
Who's got it? Mark Price to Marley.
That's old Joe Dumars' work. He stripped that one. He worked hard to get that layup.
11 points for Marley. Well, Joe Dumars is one of the outstanding defensive players ever to be in the NBA.
Oh, did he work on that one?
There's Bradkey again, and Bradkey, he's just kind of like a blue-collar guy. He just keeps hammering away.
Just keeps coming.
I like his attitude. He has 16 points. Miller with another 3. They didn't even ripple the net. 27 for Reggie Miller.
In a very short playing stint, by the way.
So Reggie Miller had 20 points in game 1, 15 in game 2. This is high in the tournament. Now with 27. He is lighting up Australia tonight as he's fouled this time, ducking inside by McKay. Let's go back to the defensive effort by your guy, Joe D.
There he gets it the first time. Gets it back. Smith gets it back. Then he comes back in, gets it again, finally kicks it away. Price finally picks it up, and they've got 4-on-0 for an easy win.
And that's the reason Dumars is on the first team all-defensive club 4 times.
Here's Reggie again. So easy, wide open. The offensive efficiency since the 10 or 12-minute mark of Australia has gone downhill. One of the things that is going to have to happen if the international teams are going to stay in games, their offensive efficiency has to be better. I know that some of them have tried to use the clock, but then you've got to make shots. And then when fatigue enters into it, then it just becomes like a runaway locomotive.
And like you said, they have not adjusted. They just kept doing the same thing.
Yeah, the same pattern, and it was a pattern off. The cuts were all off the ball, and the U.S. team started getting way off the ball, allowing the player to come to him, taking all of the shots away. And that's when there have to be adjustments made offensively.
Ronaldson not able to get it. Tracked down by Marley, ahead to Mark Price. Price with a 3.
If you recall, we talked to Barry Barnes, and I asked him the question about pick and roll, and I think that all of the international teams have got to learn to utilize the pick and roll more when they get into tough lack of shot situations.
He kind of had that blank look on his face when you ask it, like, oh no, should we know that?
Well, one of the things, because you're allowed zone and they don't have the same kind of rules that the NBA has, they don't use as much, but it's a very effective play even in international and collegiate rules.
Well, they see a lot of zone, obviously, in the international play. So Wilkins, Mark Price, Dan Marley, Joe Dumars, and Derek Coleman in the lineup now for Don Nelson. McKay with a strip to the trailing gaze, and he's fouled. Well, as you look at this United States team, we talked about them evolving, getting a personality. You see that coming?
Yeah, I really do, and it's on the defensive end, just as the Dream Team 1 did. I think the fact that you get really tough defensively, you don't have to worry about setting up. It becomes merely a layup drill, and I think they're starting to realize that. They came into this not being quite sure who they were. You can play a couple of games, but not really sure. Then they start to get the feel of what the international teams are all about.
Well, there was a point made that on Dream Team 1, you didn't get that much scoring from Robinson and Ewing.
No, we didn't. They seemed to be in a lot of foul trouble, but they were doing such a good job of blocking shots, getting the ball out of the break. They were never involved. We were laying it up 3-on-2, 4-on-1, whatever it happened to be, outnumbered situation because most of the scoring came off the break.
So Don Nelson's team with a 101-60 lead. We'll be back.
Inside brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always jamming, always Coca-Cola.
Well, Australia, as you look at their international history, they were 6th in the Olympics in Barcelona. Their best finish in '92, 4th in '88, 6th appearance in the World Championship, and in '82, a 5th place finish. They have been a team that's come from down under each year. They defeated New Zealand this year to come to the World Championship of basketball, and Barry Barnes trying to build on this. He said he feels with the addition of Luke Longley, they have another 18-year-old 7-footer that they are looking at in Australia. By '96 in Atlanta, they could improve.
Yeah, they could improve. I think most teams, they come in here with a little confidence thinking they're going to do well, but until you sit there and have to play against these guys, you just don't understand how really talented they are. They scored, what, 12 points?
They scored 12 points this half. The reality sits in.
Yes,
I mean, you all of a sudden realize these guys really are a dream team.
You know, the exact same thing happened to me when I came from a collegiate scene. I was sitting next to Billy Cunningham, and I had seen many of the 76ers games. Now, all of a sudden, wow, I said, I can't believe how good these guys really are.
And you got to be courtside to really feel that whole thing.
Exactly.
Gary Coleman kicks it out to Marley. Marley, a long-distance three. Ronaldson with the rebound. 7-11 left in this ball game. United States going to go 10-0 against the Aussies after this victory tonight. And meet Puerto Rico, who they have lost to a couple of times. In fact, 2 of the last 5 meetings they have lost to our neighbors to the south. As Ronaldson able to hit. Ronaldson has really been struggling with his shooting. He finally gets one to go there. He has 5 points. Price with a 3. Ronaldson is 2 of 9 shooting. Price now with 14 points. Gaze driving.
Team USA they're really looking for the 3. I mean, they're not concerned about setting up. They're not concerned about getting into any sets. They're just coming down, playing, and letting it happen, and it's happening.
Well, Shaquille had a very much.
He can go back to Eaton Center tomorrow and do some shopping.
Well, there was some concern about a sore lower back, and I know Pat Williams, the general manager of Orlando, wanted to know about it. We saw Brian Hill in the crowd a while ago. I don't know why they were concerned. He's only the franchise.
You know, they had the first day off yesterday. Nelson might take a lesson there. I know I gave them all those days off, and they responded in kind.
Well, there was some thought they had some tired legs after Sunday's game. They look sharp here after a slow start to the ball game. They trailed 17-10 after 5 minutes, tied it up at 31 all, and in this second half, it's put Sean Kemp almost to sleep.
Yeah, he's ready for a nap. And we're not on yeah, we are in different time. We're on East Coast time, and it is a problem.
That's right, that's 3 hours difference from Seattle.
We've all been there.
Oh, here's Ronaldson, and Price is able to come up with a turnover. Okay, they are really hustling. This United States team is just continuing to put the hammer down, aren't they? Watch this. Wilkins, they're having some fun.
Yeah, Price is really pushing the ball. And they're, you know, it's so-called garbage time, 6 minutes to go, but they're playing hard. They're having fun with it. But this is the way you get your minutes. We talk about it in our league. Play your minutes, earn your minutes, work your minutes, even if it's late in the game. And that's exactly what the USA club is doing. Still playing good defense.
Yep, playing hard. As Warner is shooting over Derek Coleman. Coleman, who has the eyes of a point guard, to Dominic. Dominic landed very awkwardly. I think he's okay, but he came down really a strange angle. Here's Gaze. I think Dominic's okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
Well, they looked bad for a moment the way he came down. Here he is again, and he's fouled and got the basket. He just wanted to lay down at the other end. He don't want to have to return defensively.
Yeah. A lot of guys want to do this. You know what? They run very well when they're going forward offensively.
Now watch this. Watch how he goes down here. This is the kind of plays that scare you a little bit.
Yeah, his left ankle kind of turned, or it slipped, one of the two. And he's fortunate he didn't come out with an injury. Kind of a scary moment, really.
Well, Don Nelson said one of the reasons he wasn't giving him a lot of minutes early wasn't in shape, and You know, he was going from Atlanta to the Clippers, wasn't in the playoffs, and was a free agent. Didn't want to take a chance of getting hurt, and didn't work out all that much.
Well, I think as a coach, you got to look for little things in order to handle the minutes problem. Anything you can come up with.
I mentioned earlier you had John Stockton hurt for a while. Larry Bird had the bad back, so they gave you a little bit of an out.
And Magic was hurt also for a couple of games. You know, in reality, it was really a break. You don't like to think of an injury as a break. Stockton's was more serious. Magic's was not quite as serious, but it really gave us an opportunity to kind of divvy up the time and make it a little bit easier on the old coach.
Now, I'm curious. Wilkins complained about his minutes early. I never heard anything coming out of Barcelona, anybody complaining about minutes.
No, there seemed to be such respect for each other. If you seemed as though if you complained about minutes, you were complaining about a great player playing in the floor, and it just didn't happen. I'm sure underneath there were a few guys who wanted a few more shots, but that's normal.
And interestingly enough, you had one college player, Christian Laettner, on that team as well.
That also helped.
Here's Kemp, and he tries to get into Derek Coleman, and too long in the lane. 3 seconds in the lane. Andrew Gaze now leading Australian scoring.